Okay, well, thanks everybody for coming here, and thanks for the good weather. So I want to introduce Alenka. She's our host today. Alenka has an undergraduate degree from Pomona College and an MBA from Golden Gate University. She spent 18 years in Silicon Valley. When her second daughter was born with disabilities in 2003, she turned her focus to improving the quality of life of those with disabilities. Alenka serves on many committees. She's on the board of directors for the Palo Alto Unified School District's Community Advisory Committee for Special Education, on Life Sciences Alternatives in San Jose, and is vice president of the Friends of the Palo Alto Parks. In 2014, Alenka was presented with the prestigious Jefferson Service Award in recognition of her efforts to make this magical bridge playground a reality. So let's hear it for Alenka.
Okay, we will make that shorter next year. That introduction was too long.
Okay.
Okay, the first thing I'm going to do before we start, excuse me for coming around to this side, I'm going to ask a couple of quick questions, and I would like to know if anybody can tell me, in the world of people that have either a visible or invisible disability, what is that number? Is it one in, who wants to tell me, one in how many of us in the community have either a visible or an invisible disability?
Well, I could answer for Stanford community.
No, I'm just asking the team because I'm going to give out hats to people that
Oh,
get the
okay.
right answer.
All right.
1 in 5.
Exactly, 1 in 5.
Wow.
Okay, there you go.
Awesome. Thanks.
And
Nice hat.
for those that haven't been here, this might be a tricky question, but there's a bridge over there called Ava's Bridge. Does anybody know who Ava is?
I do. Amy knows.
Yes, that is my daughter. And the reason I started
All right.
All right, and then if you just peek around the park, if somebody could tell me what is the one thing besides this glaring sun that you notice that's a little different about this park than parks that maybe you played in when you were smaller, younger? Oh yes.
Rounded edges.
Rounded edges. That's right. That's true. Rounded edges is one of them. And if you pass that gentleman a hat, and one more, and then I'll start my little. What else?
Wood chips?
What about wood chips?
There's not wood chips.
Yes, there are wood chips. Okay, there goes. Okay, one more, and then we'll start. Okay, what else is different? Yes,
Everything has like ramps and things to get on instead of like stairs to get up.
that's true. Yes, that's exactly right. Okay, that's my last hat. I want to say thank you for playing. Okay, quickly, so Magical Bridge. This is really a community project that started because my second daughter, Ava, was born with some disabilities, and I was amazed that the 34 public parks in Palo Alto didn't really accommodate me. I had a typical child and one that wasn't so typical, and I wanted to go to one park with both of them. And apparently that is a very new idea. So, I ended up getting the space here from the city, and they said, why don't you go build the kind of park you think we need? 7 years later, lots of research, we raised $4 million privately, and we tried to design a park, Magical Bridge, a place so magical that it bridges the gap between those with and without disabilities in a very seamless way. We knew we did not want a wheelchair park, with lots of ramps, because ultimately there's no play value. There are people that do those types of parks, and they bring typical children to play with children maybe in a wheelchair, and that doesn't feel right to anybody. You want it to be so seamless that everyone has fun. So and I'm not going to spend a lot of time, I'm just going to let you sort of enjoy afterwards, but quickly, there were a lot of things we learned. We learned that you want to divide up the play experiences, right? As development changes with kids, they need to spin and run and jump. But if you're limited in some way, then you don't have access to that. And a park is where kids go to do that kind of thing. So what we've done here is we've laid everything out in such a way that's predictable for those that are visually impaired. Children with autism benefit from it. We also have places around that you can retreat from the noise, the activity for children with autism again. And there's many things, and there's a table there I'll tell you about in a moment. But if you're interested, I mean, 7 years of research, I would be here for a long time. If you're interested, on the Magical Bridge website, there's a lot of information. But I think the really exciting thing as it relates to this class and design is that when we opened in April of 2015, I thought my volunteer work was done and I could put my feet up. But we had this avalanche of interest from around the world from people that wanted a playground like this. And so a few months later, we got the pro bono services of a great law firm named Wilson Sonsini, and they are very well respected here. So they helped take us to a foundation startup, and we started Magical Bridge Foundation 2 years ago, and are now designing and developing. We have 7 projects underway right now. The Santa Clara County created a grant so that $10 million was allocated so each of the districts here could have a magical bridge. And we're redesigning all of the elementary school playgrounds here. And what I'm trying to say is that it's this huge opportunity that has evolved simply because we're creating something that's mindfully designed to accommodate all the members in our community, right? It shouldn't be so unusual, but you are the bright young minds of the future, and the economic benefits are there to do that, and the human, heart benefits. I mean, everybody deserves to be in the same place together. And I just quickly, as you look through here, I brought this with me only because this is, we broke ground at the playground in Redwood City. And I'm showing you this because it takes a lot of what we learned here. Now Palo Alto is a pilot program. We're going to do a lot more in Redwood City for the visually impaired, more sensory. I mean, with each playground we learn, we welcome any and all input that community members have. But so we're taking the premise of Magical Bridge, but extending it and doing more. And with each project, we're doing not only playgrounds, but building more inclusive communities, and that's really the premise of what we do. And I also should have used the earlier part of my talk to introduce Jake Luckman, who is one of our team members and a very magical man who comes from extensive STEM background and works with, some of you has worked with us over the years, developing great ideas.
Do you want me to chime in just a little
Certainly.
bit? So I came into the Magical Bridge project when construction had broken. My kids were very young at the time, and we liked lurking at construction sites, and we were kind of very excited about what was happening here. But pretty much once the playground opened, we were here like practically every day, and I soon started volunteering because I was so inspired by the innovation here. But at some point, you asked me to help with the Stanford class, and so over a couple of iterations, we tried to improve the access, or not the access, but the inclusion for the visually impaired. And at a certain point, I got the idea. I knew about Nikki through the community. Nikki's a high school student, and I asked his dad, would Nikki like to get involved in sort of developing more prototypes and really working on solving this problem about how playgrounds could be more inclusive to the visually impaired. And we developed some prototypes, and Alenka liked them so much, and the Magical Bridge team liked them so much that we ended up applying for a grant. We ended up getting a $50,000 grant to actually develop the prototypes that Nikki's been helping us with. And we sort of have some second generation prototypes here, and we also have an activity that we developed for the sighted. If you all want to learn a little bit about Braille today when you're testing the inclusiveness of the playground, you can come over to our kindness corner, and we've got sort of a Braille engagement station, and I welcome you to check that out. And Nikki's also brought some of his assistive technology for Braille, and you can check that out as well.
So we're going to keep it, we tried to keep it shorter this time. Typically we do this whole walking tour, but it's really, not that necessary. I'm happy to take a walk with anybody that's super interested to hear all the details. Otherwise, I invite you to go play. You'll see that you can fit on everything ideally, and you can have fun on most things. Don't miss our laser harp that's developed by a gal from Burning Man. And we're around. We'd love to answer any questions. We have the project over there, and we really thank you for coming on this afternoon, and thank Dave for
Thanks for having us and being inclusive
you.
for older kids like me.
Well, ditto. We're the over 20 crowd. Yes, we are indeed that group. So, movement is magical, and we hope you can have a little fun today too.
So I like to have all the students go through the playground, check out the rides, imagine what it would be if you had a disability. I want to challenge you to balance on that rotating disc over there. I want to challenge you to spin that as fast as you can. I want you to spin me as fast as you can on that ride over there. So check out everything. This swing set is particularly interesting. So see how high you can push your fellow student. So, but don't get hurt, okay? But have fun, and don't forget the slide mound and stuff, okay?
Yeah, and please come. So we're all set up by the Kindness Corner. Is anybody interested in doing a kind of up and down walk with me? Or I really don't. I'm not looking for anybody to do it if you're not interested. But if you really would like to, I'm happy to do it. But if you want to just run around and have fun and then come back and tell us what you think, that would be great.
You know, maybe if we can spot you.
Sure, yes.
After we had a little bit of an experience, we can have you
Anytime.
answer some questions.
I mean, it is just a playground. It shouldn't be. I always feel funny when I do these tours because I feel like it's just a playground. Enjoy it. But really, we get 20,000 visitors here a month.
Wow.
Come half from Palo Alto and half come from around the world. And so there's something wrong with that if people are driving for hours to go to a public park. So we're hoping to change that, and are also developing a line of equipment with a large international manufacturer. So if anybody really is passionate about this work, email me, and I think we might have some interesting opportunities in the future.
Okay.
I hope.
Maybe internships over the summer?
Yes, maybe internships also.
Okay.
Internships.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. If anyone has questions, come find us.